Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kryptonian Sagan here, bringing you guys another review for One Piece Chapter 1030. And Chapter 1030 has a lot going on this one, man. We got everything from Drake being propositioned with an alliance. We got Usopp and Nami running across Kanemon's body. You got Kanjuro seemingly plotting to do some nasty stuff. And most importantly, you got Big Mom in one hell of a bind because Law came through clutch in order to support Kid. Now, with all that being said, let's back things up and let's get into the recap portion of the review. So I gotta say, man, I like how the chapter opens up and you started off with this great double spread where you have Drake being propositioned. And first he gets called out, though. He gets called out for being a military spy. And basically he gets called out for being a Navy spy. And Drake doesn't necessarily answer. He just stares down. And you have the proposition basically being that, like, look, it doesn't matter if Kaido and Big Mom win or lose. It doesn't matter if the Straw has pulled everything off. We'll just wait for the winner. And once the winner has been declared, we'll just go ahead and lop their heads off and we'll be the ones in control. And it's basically a smart thing. You got the high ground, essentially. You're going to wait in the shadows, wait for all the chaos to happen. And then you are just going to come in at the very last minute to try and take the victory. But Drake makes a good point. He says, why should I trust you? And it gets into a little bit of a back and forth because Drake gets fired back with the whole thing of, like, you can't really talk about being untrustworthy. This is something that's going to benefit the two of us. And we don't get Drake's answer. Instead, it shifts over to what's happening on castle floors 1 and 2. And so essentially we see Usopp and Nami, they're running through the castle and they run across Kanemon's torso. And Kanemon's torso appears to be talking, and we have a moment where Usopp recognizes who it is, and Usopp just runs straight over and starts hugging the leg. And Kanemon, because his torso is disconnected from his body, he has no idea who it is that's actually taking hold of him. He doesn't know if it's a friend or a foe, but Nami, being the best girl and being the smart girl, she goes up to Kanemon and she draws that crescent moon of the rebellion, and that lets Kanemon know that, like, hey, you're amongst friends. And essentially, once this happens, that's when Usopp gets onto one of the giraffes and he takes off running. And that's when we get to the scene where you see Kanemon and how brutally he was taken down, because Kanemon, as well as the others, have been brutally defeated and Kanemon's whole body has been separated. And what I like about this right here is that Kanemon is looking over at Kiku, and Kanemon's doing his best to try and hang in there. You see those real leadership qualities because he says he has to hold on longer for Kiku because he's found allies, and he's telling Kiku to try and hold on just a little bit longer. And we find out the whole reason why Kanemon was able to survive getting bisected was when you go back to what happened in the past where Law was able to disconnect him because he used chambers. Essentially, Law is the reason why Kanemon's body is able to operate in the way that it does. And so you also have this moment going on where Kanemon is thinking, like, hey, okay, like, Kanjuro is dead, so we don't have anything to worry about, but why am I hearing Orochi's voice? And that's when we learn that Orochi is actually speaking to Kanjuro, and Kanjuro's body, he takes a brush and begins to start making a set of brush strokes. And Orochi is telling him, like, hey, like, this is going to be it. You're the only one who could lay rest to our souls, Kanjuro. You're the only one who can do what's right. And Kanjuro says, like, hey, I'll perform my final dance, the glorious death of the Kozumi clan. And you see all these flames just start shooting all over the place. You have this giant creature that has appeared and sets everything on fire. And you have this moment where everybody starts reporting what's going on. And the whole castle has now been erupted into flames. And you see the different reactions, whether it be people like Rob Lucci or you see people like Brooke running around like crazy. You see Luffy's in his battle. You see Zoro in his battle. You see Sanji struggling his battles, I believe, against Queen. You also have this moment where Orochi is saying, Kaido thought he was smart, but I know the truth. I know he's got an armory beneath the castle. He's got all those weapons I had him create. So I'm going to have Kanjuro just blow him up. That way he can blow everything up into the sky. If I got to go, everybody got to go with me. And so you see that desperation there. But unbeknownst to him, Yamato is also headed towards the bottom floor where the basement is and is trying to get to that armory. And what we end up seeing is that as Yamato is running, that's where you see all of Kid's body parts, those mechanical parts, they start separating. They're flying through the air. The battle with Big Mom is taking place. Big Mom looks like she's got the upper hand. And we get this flashback where you have Law and Kid, and they're talking to each other, and they're saying like, hey, like, I need you to use your special powers. I know you can't use it unless you're on your last legs. It's a last option. It's got extreme stamina consumption. It's super hardcore. It means you lose the battle. It's the same thing for me, but we're not making any progress right here. So I need you to back me up. And essentially Law uses anesthesia, and he's able to attack Big Mom with this blade. And the penetration, according to Law, it doesn't do anything, but what it does do is it starts sending shockwaves through Big Mom's body. And Big Mom, she starts bleeding all over the place. Big Mom's getting super upset over what's going on. She's about to start attacking. All of a sudden, Big Mom finds herself being attached to the cloud that she was riding on. Kid starts using his powers of magnetism in order to start drawing all the weapons and all the steel and the towers all around the area, and it starts weighing down Big Mom. And working in conjunction with Law, they're able to seemingly bring Big Mom down for the 10 count because Big Mom looks like she's knocked out. Now, what I gotta say, I don't think Big Mom is done, but I will say I did think it was kind of cool to see both of these guys working together, because it's a great scene where you see that next generation working to start removing one of the 4 emperors in this matter. Because Big Mom is such a big character, I don't think that this is how she's going to be taken down. Though I will say this was an ingenious plan, and seeing the two of them work on quick thinking in this manner, if this is how she's taken down, is fitting. I still think that she's got more fight left in her, because Big Mom is one hell of a big bitch. But you can tell Oda's cooking right here. Like, we're headed towards the climax of this fight. So my chapter question for you guys is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the teamwork between Law and Kid? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Have an awesome day, guys.